Hey guys, I'm back with another topic on authentication. So this time I'm going to authenticate a native application with Azure Active Directory and use the token that is generated with authentication to access the web API. So this native application may involve WPF application, console application and mobile application as well. So this time I'm going to use console application to simplify the demo. So before starting the video, I would like to request you all to please like my video and subscribe my channel, because your likes and subscription motivates me to continue this kind of work and bring some really interesting content for you on this channel. So as you can see, I have a console application and a web API, and right now I don't have any authentication implemented in both my applications. So my console application is simply trying to fetch the API without any token. It is a simple client which is fetching the data, and I have all the code commented as of now. So let's see how it works originally. So yes, this is basically the data that is returned from my API to the console application. So now let's add some authentication to it. So let's switch it off and let's go to Azure portal. So here I'm going to go to Azure Active Directory and do some registrations. I'm going to add an app registration here. This is my web API native, and I'll use this because I am not going to use user flow here. So we don't need anything, any redirect URI here, as it is a backend application. So let's register it. Let's make a note of client ID. And let's expose this API. So let's add a scope. This is, we have set this. Now we'll add the scope file read. This should be the name of the scope. It can be anything, so I have named it this way, and add scope. So the scope is added. Let's make a note of this scope also. Here we don't need any client secret, so yes, this is also an important information. So now I will quickly do a native application registration. Let's name it native. It should be multi-tenant, and let's make it public native, and let's add the, we don't need any specific redirect URI. It's just that it should be in a URL format, and same we will be using in our coding. So let's make a note of this redirect URI. It is this one. So let's make a note of it. Yep, and let's make a note of its client ID also. Overview, client ID. Yes, we need to add the permission of API here. So let's add permission. Go to my APIs, web API, backend native. This will be my API, and let's select this scope. Let's add this permission, and let's grant the admin consent. So yes, the consent is granted. I think we are done with the Azure part. So let's get back to our code. This is our code. So let's lock our application. It is the same strategy that I follow with all my coding, so let's do it quickly. So we need to install the package Microsoft Identity.web. Let me show it to you. I have it already installed at my place, but I can show it to you quickly which package we exactly need. Yes, this one is the package we need. So let's install it. Once this is installed, let's switch to startup.cs and add this particular line. Let's use the authentication middleware, and let's go to the controller and open the authorize part. Required scope is file read. So the name of the scope we have changed, so let's name it file read. And now let's try to run this, and it should give 401. The API should give 401. So let's try to run this. /first. Yeah, it's giving 401. Bingo. So now let's try to lock our console application also with some authentication part. So guys, this time with the console application there are two strategies that we can use. So first time when we try to access with console or any native application, first time when we try to access, we do the logging with prompt. That means with prompt means we will have the Microsoft window pop-up open, Azure AD pop-up open basically, or if you are trying to do this with Facebook or Gmail, then that respective pop-up will be opened and you will enter your credentials and the token will be generated after this. But if your token is generated already and you have cached it somewhere, so in that case you can do with silent token also. In that case prompt is not required, your token will be retrieved silently. So what we do an if else check. Like if we have the data token stored, in that case and the token will be fetched from the cache where it is stored, otherwise we will do a fresh login. So this time I'm going to demonstrate a fresh login part only. I'll run another video where I'll explain how we can do this silent token part retrieval. So this video is will be all about first time login and token generation, and that token generation will be accessing your API and returning the data. So here also we need to install the packages. So let's see quickly what packages we need to install. Microsoft.identity.client.web. I think this is the package. .client. This is the package we need. So this package is already installed here. So let's quickly enter some details which are important here. So yeah, I think I missed the details in here this part as well, so let's add these details in here also. Here we need an instance would be same. It is as I'm using my default tenant this time, so this will be the default information. Client ID would be my web API client ID which I have generated and made a note of it. So this is the client ID, this is the domain, this is the tenant ID. The information is perfect. Tenant ID, I think I did not show you all what is the tenant ID. So tenant ID is this will be same for one particular tenant. So I was prepared when I was preparing the demo, I already added it. So this is the tenant ID, this is the domain name that we are going to use here. So next will be the details in the console application. So let's quickly go to fetch data, and here let's add some details. So in instance will be the way we have to open the pop-up. So this should be the instance. Okay, we have this will be the variable of this will be the tenant ID that we are going to supply. So this is the tenant ID that we have to add. Client ID we have to change according to the new registration. So yes, this is the client ID. Tenant ID would be same as that of app settings. Okay, so now in authority we are going to use the tenant ID that we have entered above, as you can see here. So basically our entire login will be http login.microsoftonline.com/tenant ID/v2.0. okay, then we will add scope. Scope will be this that we have saved already at our place. This is the scope. So let's place the scope also here, Control V. Yeah, okay, these are the basic details which we are going to use. Now what we have to do in the constructor is that we have to initialize our public client application builder with the authority and redirect URI. That's how it is. Redirect URI would be the same as this redirect would be URI would be the same redirect URI that we have entered in our native client registration. So that's the simple one. So we can try to change that, but it is exactly the same, so it doesn't matter actually. Next is we are going to check here. Okay, let me show you, give you a bit of detail what we are trying to do here. Yes, okay, so what we are trying to do here, we are going to fetch the accounts. Like if we have any account available here, in that case we are going to fetch the token in interactive way. Yeah, in interact, like if we okay, here what we are doing, we are going to fetch the token in the prompt way, where we have the AD pop-up open, and we are going to enter the detail here, Active Directory detail here, details here, and once the token is retrieved, what we will do is we are going to use that token in the bearer authentication and get our details, and simply our data will be fetched and printed in the console. So that's all. That's the only thing we are doing right now. I will be doing in another video where I am going to explain you all how we can retrieve the token silently if the token is already maintained in the cache. First of all, let's test this part and see how it works. So let me run it. Yeah, here it is asking for my user creds. So the authentication is complete, as we can see now. If we go to console here, so we have our API details are fetched. So that's it with the native authentication login part. So this native application can be your mobile application, your Xamarin application, your Kotlin application, WPF application, anything, and we can authenticate our native application using Azure AD, and that token that is generated can be used to access a secured API. So that's it with the today's demo, guys. I hope you like my video, you like my content, and hope to see you soon with some another interesting content. Thank you very much for watching the video.